So I just wanted to say it's truly been such an honor to be able to sit here and listen. I've been moved to tears throughout this. I just want to speak a little bit to the fact that I am Canadian, and I think something that's very easy for me to kind of generalize within myself is that we don't have the same socioeconomic lines of divide in terms of institutionalized racism that I've experienced since spending time in the States. So it's easy for me to fall sometimes into a caveat of being like, oh, that's not something that affects me or has affected me. And then listening to you, Naj, and thank you so much for sharing what you said about feeling in a suspenseful state for your ability to hope. Because of the fact that, the world hasn't been a very safe place for you. And I definitely know that regardless of where I'm from, I have felt safe for most of my life. And just thank you so much for bringing that conversation to this arena, because I really want to, and as you said, Amanda, lean into those places of just not even necessarily misunderstanding, but just places that I've never even looked before. And this, I feel like, is a very ripe time for our collective consciousness, for us to be looking at all types of shadows in our human experience, the way we've been treating each other, the way we treat the earth, the way we have massive amounts of wealth disparity on the globe. And no matter, where we find ourselves, and we're coming to this sort of level of apex in our consciousness where we realize that it just is not okay anymore on all fronts. None of it is okay. And it's so moving and so important that the one thing that we can do, and that we have always done, is get together and to relate and to breed compassion through understanding and through curiosity, and not through the cyclical algorithms of judgment or trend, or now unfortunately social media has become, I think, a little bit limiting for people to connect outside of certain realms of their community in some aspects. But regardless of what media or technology or corporate influence or society teaches us or conditions us to believe, it is truly, truly, truly so activating and inspiring to see that no matter what, we come back to this baseline of taking the chance to listen to each other. And I feel that is what, no matter what happens, when I get overwhelmed and depressed and in despair and I can't see myself in the world, I know that in my human experience, the things that I can control, the choices that I get to make, always put me at the feet of other human beings who teach me, and who usually teach me in ways that inspire me. So this is just another exercise of that in this time, which has been such an incredible tonight. Dina asked me if I would be able to write something based on just what I've been listening to tonight. Pardon me, sorry, my mouth is dry. If I could write something based on listening to everyone tonight, and I jumped at the opportunity because for me, like, stories is very much what Delroy was talking about. Our stories are all so meaningful, and also the thing that gives life value and beauty and connection. And I just think that humanity we're going to make some incredibly beautiful changes at this time. So thank you. I've written down things that resonated with me, but I'm just going to open up my heart and close my eyes right now and speak to my experience of this time, while incorporating a lot of the points that I've heard made throughout the evening and the stories that were shared from everyone here tonight. Okay? So it's going to be an experiment and a journey. These times are strange times, but they are not first times. They have become inevitable ones because we have forgot somewhere along the line that it is better to numb than to listen. We have become lost from each other and lost from ourselves, while media goes around and puts us in spells until we can no longer understand anymore where we put our way home. But yet, in the darkest places, in the depths, in all of the confusion and the masses and the overriding contrary opinions and contradictions and places that we would put us in the prisons of division, we still manage to find a place to see. To not necessarily decide to comply in blindness, but to see that life is not about one-sidedness, to see with our hearts more than our minds, to see that this is the place that we have always been able to find. That life can be something beautiful because we make it. We are not powerless, even though we have been told to forsake it. We come from the roots of the deepest tree, from the love of creation and from humanity, and we have each other, sisters and brothers in the streets, because we all come from the same mother. She is here, our earth, and she needs our love, as we need hers too. We are healing, all of us together. And now the sun is shining on the problems of society in a way that we can no longer go to sleep in denial with any longer, because we need to addict ourselves to numbness in order to suffer this insanity that has now become the tragedy of the fact that we know better. And so we go forward to show better, to slow better, because our hearts will bring us back together. And so this new fertile ground that we are growing the flowers in as they bloom, this is the place that will give us room to reimagine. While our masks are up and our guards are up and our signs are up, what can we put down? What sort of misunderstandings, what sort of compliance, what sort of participation in constructs and labels that no longer give us a space for defiance, but yet we need to defy that which we know will pry us away from the highest places of our warmth, of our softness, of our story. Because North America didn't teach us how to hope, it taught us how to cope. But we teach each other how to love. And that will always be our path back home. Thank you.